guys, Alicia here, the newbie crafter. So today I am going to be showing you how I personally like to wrap my Christmas presents. So the Christmas present that I'm working with today didn't come in a box, so I found a few boxes around the house, and those happen to be tissue boxes, but they will work just as well as any other kind of box. So I then sealed up the top of the box just so that there wasn't any hole in the top, and I had to tape both sides so that there wasn't any sticky residue peeking through. So I then got out the gifts, and remember to hide the receipts away in case you have any returns to do and so no one finds out the price. And then remember to remove the tags. One year I totally forgot to remove all the tags and everyone knew the price of their gift, so make sure to remove those tags so that no one knows the price of their gift. So just remove those tags, and I do recommend keeping them in case for some reason the gift does need to be returned. So next I took the gift and I wrapped that around my hand so that it would fit inside the tissue box, so that it was nicely packaged away and wouldn't get damaged. So I wrapped that around my hand and I squeezed it a bit, and then I slid that into the box. And then I just folded the flaps in and I taped that with some tape. I do recommend having tape on a roll. It really does make things a lot easier. It is manageable the other way, but it's really easy not to have to try and lift up the tape and not let go, etc. I wasn't quite able to find 3 of the same Kleenex boxes, so I also found this one, and I did the same process, just coiling it tighter. So next I chose what wrapping paper I wanted to use, and I decided to use this gold and silver diagonally striped one. I felt as though this one looked really nice and the two of them matched. You can obviously use the same wrapping paper on the present, but these two matched, and I thought it would look really neat to have the two different patterns. So I then used the tape and I measured the wrapping paper. You want it to come up a bit more than halfway on the sides and all the way around the side of it. You can, of course, cut more on this part of it, and then you can cut that off later, but you cannot cut off any on the sides. It's very difficult to. So next you're going to want to line up the wrapping paper with the edge of your present and use that tape to hold the wrapping paper in place on the box. You don't have to do this, but it does make things easier if you do. So once I taped that there, I pulled it snug and I wrapped the other part of the wrapping paper around. I then found out that I had cut off a bit too much, so I took the scissors and I cut off the excess wrapping paper. And then again I pulled that tight and I was able to wrap it around and have a nice seam. If you're very lucky, your pattern will line up. That rarely happens, so don't be discouraged. If it does, it will be on the bottom of the box. Just remember to press the tape down well and not to put too little on the box that it doesn't hold. So make sure that the top of the present looks good and you can't see anything through the wrapping paper. Then fold that down on the edge and crease the sides, and then fold the sides in. So that's it folded down, and then you're going to fold the sides in and again crease. And then fold the flap up and tape that in place. So again, for clarification, you're going to fold the part where the seam is down against the side of the present or the box, and then place a seam or a fold in the sides and fold the sides in, and again crease and then fold that flap down and tape with another piece of tape. And then you have a perfectly wrapped present. So I did that 2 more times, so that I had a total of 3 boxes, and I stacked those on top, made sure that I liked the way that they were lined up, and then I taped those in place just again using some Scotch tape. I used a little tape roll to hold them in place. Again, this step is optional, but it does make things a whole lot easier. So I then found a few different types of wire-edged ribbon and found what one looked best, and then I started to measure that ribbon. You want to do the height of the present 4 times, and then the width of it twice. And I just added about that much more for extra, and then I cut off at that point. So then you're going to want to fold that ribbon in half. And then you're going to want to place the middle point at the top of the present, making sure that you can see the good side of the ribbon. I chose to use another tape loop to hold that in place. Normally I don't, but since I was filming, I felt as though it would be a lot easier, and if you're just starting, I do recommend putting the tape there. And then I brought that down the sides, and at the bottom I then crossed the ribbon, and then I brought that back up to the top of the present, and I then tied that into a knot. It is a little bit challenging to tie a knot with a wire-edged ribbon, but once you tie the knot is very secure. So once I tied the knot at the bottom of the present, I flattened out the ribbon just so that the present wouldn't topple over underneath the Christmas tree. So then I just made sure that the ribbon was all lined the way that I wanted it to in the end, and that the good sides of the ribbon were showing. I then grabbed the ribbon and I made a bow using the process that I made a video on a few weeks ago, and I'll put the link to how to do that in the description box below. Hi guys, Alicia here, the newbie crafter. So today I am going to be showing you how I personally like to wrap my Christmas presents. So the Christmas present that I'm working with today didn't come in a box, so I found a few boxes around the house, and those happen to be tissue boxes,